Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
Welcome to the Southern California Prep Insider Baseball Podcast. Tommy and Les here. And Les, you are on the road right now, putting in some extra work. Tell the people where you are.
Yeah, man, I'm coming to you live from the Town Suites by Marriott here in lovely Fresno, California, covering the Fresno Easter Classic. It's a 36-team tournament, some of the top teams in the Valley. It's a really good deal. Had 4 games yesterday, heading out to another 4 today, and then another 4 tomorrow before I head back to sunny SoCal.
12 games in 3 days. That's got to be some kind of record. I don't know. We'll call the people at Guinness to figure out if that is a record. So while we have you in your hotel room in Fresno, can we get your top 10 teams for this week?
Yeah, let's start off with Sherman Oaks. Notre Dame stays at the top. They're coming off a sweep of Loyola. Young guys are playing really well. Tyler Stromsborg is a USC commit. He's only hitting .412 and only has a 1.08 ERA for the Knights, so he's obviously getting it done. Number 2 is Huntington Beach. They had some late heroics last week, and after being down 6-0 against Marina, they came all the way back to win 7-6. The big shot there was a 3-run homer by Josh Hahn in the bottom of the 6th. That was the difference there. It gave Huntington Beach the 7-6 lead for good. Huntington Beach, again, still is yet to lose to a Southern Section team at 11-2. Coming in number 3, Miracosta. They're coming off a sweep of El Segundo and a win of a good Hart team. The Mustangs were pretty good last year, and Tommy, I think they might be even better this year. They are just getting it done. The pitching has been really, really good. Merrick Baldo, a recent LMU commit, has been lights out for them. Chance Miedroth and Karos have been really good at the plate for them as well. La Mirada, the story with them we've talked about is just pitching, and more pitching. The offense, though, is really good. Eugene Gian had 3 homers in a game last week. Darius Perry is really good at the plate for them. They're looking like they're ready to make some noise in their spring break tournament here next week. Coming in next is Servite. The Friars are showing that their pitching depth can match up with anybody. The offense is beginning to click, too. Emmanuel Dean had a big game for them last week, a couple of homers. If he can get going and really spark that offense, look out, because he's a physical freak who hits the ball a long, long way. Next is Harvard Westlake. The Wolverines are pitching, hitting, and fielding at a very, very high level. I got a chance to see them a couple weeks ago against Gar. They're getting some contributions from maybe not some of their name guys. They have a couple of players committed to Vanderbilt, one to Stanford, one to LMU. But these other guys are really picking it up. And Mission League is going to be something else this year. It might be actually the best league here in Southern California, in the Southern section. Next is Etiwanda. They just keep rolling along. They did lose to Arcadia, but their perceived strength of schedule, in my opinion, is a little bit better. So I put them 1 spot ahead of Arcadia, who comes in next. The Apaches are undefeated. They do have that win against Etiwanda, as I mentioned. They also beat Mater Dei on the road last week. However, the rest of the schedule leaves a little bit to be desired, in my opinion. But Arcadia looks to be a legit team here, and they're deserving to be here in the top 10. Coming in at number 9 is Corona, a nice 3-0 week, including 2 league games for them. The Panthers are going to be in the race for the Big 8 until the very end, no question. They will have some competition from King and Santiago and a couple other teams in that league, which I think is one of the best out there. And last but not least is Chaminade, our 3rd Mission League team here in the top 10. The Eagles have already played 2 series, having beaten Alamany 2-1 and sweeping Crespi. Things are going to get a little tougher for them, but this team is young, talented, and definitely deserving to be here in the top 10.
All right, there we go. There's the top 10. I'm sure we'll see a lot of moving and shaking with all the tournaments being played out this week. A lot of good teams having to play each other, so we'll get some good looks at it there. I'm gonna go look at some of the players of the week from last week. I'm gonna start with El Toro's Nathan Church, a UCI commit, who was 3 for 3 with a home run, and their 3-2 win over San Clemente. So he really made the difference there. Next, I've got Max Graves from Oaks Christian. He had a complete game, 0 earned runs. Or technically, he gave up an unearned run, so not a shutout, but 0 earned runs, 8 strikeouts against Westlake. Future Long Beach State dirtbag Ethan Clue with a complete game shutout, 11 strikeouts in Temecula Valley's win over Marietta Valley. So that's a big win out there in Temecula. Corona Del Mar's JT Swartz with a home run and 4 RBIs in their win over Northwood. He'll play at UCLA next season. And Kerry Lucas from Viewpoint has thrown 3 complete games with wins in a row And more impressive than that, his GPA is 4.33. So that's a kid who gets done on the field and in the classroom.
Yeah, Max Graves actually shortly after that game, committed to the Air Force Academy too. So that tells you a little bit about not only his character but his academic commitment as well. You talked about Schwartz, and Schwartz is a guy that's getting a little bit of attention from scouts. Potentially could hear his name in the MLB draft. Depending on what scouts you talk to. The bat is very real. He's got a lot of power in that bat for a guy his frame. Plays really good defense for CDM as well. And Nathan Church, man, if he can get going, that'll be a huge boost for El Toro. When I saw them, he scuffled a little bit against Mission Viejo. But, at this point, everybody's kind of focused in on Eric Tolman at El Toro, and rightfully so. But if Church can get it going, it bodes well for El Toro, and for his future there at UCI.
Yeah, and you mentioned Schwartz maybe getting drafted. I mean, there's a few kids in the Southern California radar that are on the radar, so to speak, for the Major League Baseball draft. So what are the kind of decisions that kids have to make when they're going into, okay, I'm going to go to this school, but now I'm picked here, here, here? Generally, what's kind of the breaking point?
Each kid is different, obviously. Each kid has its own asking price. And as a matter of fact, I was talking to a college coach up here about a player that is from Southern California that they have recruited that is potentially a draft prospect. His number, as they call it, it's kind of your asking price, if you will. It's the dollar figure that you tell scouts is going to take to get you to sign a pro contract as opposed to going to college. His number is relatively low compared to some of the other kids that I'm familiar with and some of the other kids that this coach has dealt with, just because $100,000 to one family might be life-changing money, whereas to another family, it takes $3, $4, $5 million. So it really varies kid by kid, but each player has his own number attached to what it's going to take to keep him from going to college. And that's usually where the negotiating comes, right? MLB scouts are pretty crafty. Certainly the front office people are pretty crafty at getting at or to that number or within the ballpark of that number and being very convincing of their reasons why a player should sign a pro contract. You're seeing more and more, though, just in talking with a lot of player representatives, I'm seeing a lot more of those guys are pushing their kids to really focus on college. The college game has made such a huge investment in not only facilities, but in the quality of their schedules, the quality of their performances. The college game has really taken a step forward, and you're seeing it in recent discussions. MLB and college baseball are trying to improve that product so that we keep kids in the game longer. You're seeing a lot of guys here in the last few years who maybe we thought were can't miss guys that go in somewhere in the 5th to 15th round who are out of baseball in 3 to 5 years, and that does nobody any good. It certainly waters down MLB a little bit, and it certainly hurts the college game. So the investment by college baseball and the partnership with MLB is going to be interesting to see where that leads here in the next couple of years.
All right, so there's the guys who had good weeks last week. We're going to go into some game picks now, starting with the game from Wednesday. It's Santa Ana going to Ocean View.
Ocean View is getting it done, both at the plate and on the mound here, while Santa Ana has had a little bit of issues defensively. So, Ocean View is at home. Ball tends to fly out a little bit there if they get a little onshore breeze there from in Huntington Beach. So I'm going to go Ocean View in this one.
I'm going to take Santa Ana. Joshua Sanchez hitting .548 for them with 11 RBIs. Maybe he can get one in the breeze there and put it over the fence for Santa Ana. Another game on Wednesday. It's Huntington Beach going to Los Alamitos.
I just really, really like what Huntington Beach is doing right now. Los Alamitos is playing some good baseball, though, and Coach Matt New's got that thing going pretty well. But I just really, really like what Huntington Beach is doing. They're on a roll. They're getting ready to play in their spring break tournament here next week as well. So they're going to line up their guys. I would imagine that Josh Hahn will get the start here, so I'm going to go with the Oilers.
Me too. I'm going to go with Huntington Beach. They're in the Max Preps top 25 in the nation for a reason, and until someone knocks them off, I'm kind of got to keep picking them. Next, we're going to go to Thursday. It's Cantwell Sacred Heart going to Mary Star of the Sea in the game of schools with way too long of names.
That's a good way to put it. Cantwell Sacred Heart has a 2019 University of Miami commit, Jared Thomas. He's a catcher that plays phenomenal defense, but more importantly, he hits the snot out of the ball. So because of that reason and their pitching, I'm going to go with Cantwell Sacred Heart.
I'm going to go with Mary Star of the Sea. Mary Star of the Sea's Marco Ibarra hitting .452 with 9 RBIs, and on the mound he's got a .33 ERA for them. So he's someone definitely to look out for. Next, we've got University going to Beckman.
University's playing really good ball right now. Shlomovitz is pitching pretty well for them, but I just think Beckman has a little bit too much. Jared Platero on the mound. The McLean brothers, both Matt, Sean, and Nick, are all playing really, really well. Sean especially, who is starting to get a lot of attention from college recruiters. So for that reason, and they're at home, I'm going with Beckman.
I'm going with Beckman, too. They've been hot as of late, and I see that to continue. Finally, we got a Saturday game. It's Cerritos playing at San Dimas.
Really like what Coach Regan and his staff are doing there at San Dimas. Their pitching is pretty good. The offense is always good. They're a team that plays good, sound, fundamental baseball, tends to not beat themselves. So for that reason, I'm going to go San Dimas.
I'm going to agree. DeAndre Smith and Jalen Guzman both hitting over 400 for them. They're having a good start to this season. So, Les, where can we find you? Tell us more, anything else you want to get out there.
Yeah, before I say that, Tommy, I got to tell you, I'm getting hit up on Twitter all the time about who's winning, who's losing. Who's picked more games right? Who's picked the wrong games? So I think we need to get a scoreboard up. I think we need to go back a couple of weeks, find out who's doing what, because I know you smoked me week 1. I think I may have beaten you last week. So I think we got to get that scoreboard up because, you put a competition on things and, hey, players, parents, coaches, they all want to know who's winning, right? So
we will do it.
Yeah, I think we need to get a scoreboard up.
My promise to you and everyone else watching, we'll have a scoreboard next week. We will, before the game picks, we'll see. I'm going to do us both a favor. I'm not going to put the losses. I'm just going to put the amount of wins. We'll do it by points. How about that? That way so it can be 2-2 with the final records of 2 and 10. All right, we will have that for you next week. We'll have more game picks. We'll have more players of the week. We'll have all the good stuff again. A week from now, we will see you then.